Her voice was trembling when she asked me not to interfere. She stood in the kitchen, shoulders slumped, eyes red, lips shaking as she whispered, "Please, Dad, don't make it worse. I'll handle it." I nodded. I promised. But promises, like people, fracture under pressure. That night, I sat in my car outside his office. The building's glass windows reflected the streetlights, sterile and cold. I didn't step inside. I didn't need to. Watching, waiting, calculating, these were the skills that never left me. When his figure appeared at midnight, laughing into his phone, I gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles whitened. My daughter's tears echoed louder than his voice. I didn't confront him. I let silence do the work. The next morning, he was a different man, broken, hollow. He showed up at her desk, stammering apologies, resignation letter in hand. She ran home in shock. "How?" she asked. I smiled. "Karma." But the truth was colder. I never left my car, and yet he never slept again after that night. For weeks I replayed the moment. The fear in his eyes. The way he folded without me lifting a finger. Fear is the purest weapon. But beneath her relief, I felt something darker stirring in me. She believed it ended cleanly, as if life handed her justice wrapped in a bow. She wanted to believe in fate. I knew better. Fate is a fabrication. Control is real. And I realized something then. Her boss wasn't the true problem. He was a symptom. The disease ran deeper. My daughter trusted me, but she didn't know the shadows I still carried. She begged me for peace, not vengeance. And yet, without lifting a hand, I gave her both. The betrayal wasn't in his harassment. The betrayal was in the world that allowed it. In her belief that silence would keep her safe. Her tears became my fuel. Her plea not to interfere became my leash. But I'd already broken it. Quietly, without permission. That was the first fracture between us. She didn't see it. I did. I began watching her more closely, not in paranoia, no, in calculation. Every night I listened to the cadence of her footsteps upstairs, the pauses in her breathing when she thought no one was awake. I checked the locks twice, then 3 times. I reviewed the office building's layout online, memorized every exit. I found his address, his family, his debts. I never confronted him directly. I didn't have to. I only needed him to know I was there. So I left signs. A photograph of his office window in his mailbox. His wife's car license plate number tucked under his wiper blade. Anonymous, silent, untraceable. It was enough. By dawn, his confidence shattered. By morning, he was begging on his knees. But still, I wasn't satisfied. Because I understood something she didn't. This wouldn't be the last man to try. The world was filled with predators, and my daughter, despite her strength, was still prey in their eyes. I couldn't stand idle, not again. The question wasn't if another man would hurt her, it was when. And I was already preparing. The truth arrived quietly, as it always does. Weeks later, I caught her in a moment of hesitation, clutching her phone too tightly, flinching when it buzzed. I didn't press her, I observed. The evidence came without effort. A string of late-night messages I wasn't meant to see. Another superior at her new job. Compliments. Then requests. Then threats disguised as opportunities. My chest tightened, but my face remained still. She was caught in the cycle again, and she hadn't told me. That was the deeper betrayal. Not that they hunted her, but that she kept me in the dark, believing her silence protected me. She didn't understand that silence never protects, it only feeds the predator. I confronted her without words. I left the phone on the table, screen glowing with the proof. She froze, eyes wide, tears welling. Tad, I didn't want. I raised a hand. Quiet, composed. My silence cut sharper than any rage could. That night, I returned to my car. Same office, different man. I never left the driver's seat. Instead, I let the evidence travel on its own. Anonymous envelopes arriving at the right places. His wife, his supervisor, the board of directors. By morning, the whispers started. By noon, the suspension hit. By night, he was finished. I didn't need to threaten him. I didn't need to touch him. I simply showed the world who he really was. When my daughter returned home, confusion painted her face. Again? She asked. How does this keep happening? I met her eyes, expression unreadable. Some men bury themselves. All you need to do is hand them the shovel. Her lips parted. She didn't know whether to thank me or fear me. I preferred it that way. I watch her sleep sometimes, the quiet rise and fall of her chest. She believes she's safe because her enemies keep collapsing.